What's up, man? Shot fired.
Shots fired!
Hey, LT, do you know how Ted Bundy was caught?
A traffic stop.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, we're going to answer some questions about why police officers conduct traffic stops. All right, I know LT. This has been driving you crazy.
Oh man!
So we
Driving
have
me nuts.
we have a short out there where an officer is walking up to an SUV, and as soon as he makes the window, the scumbag in the car starts popping off, shooting rounds at the officer. And it's only a short, but for you guys who are watching, what happens is the officer returns fire, the guy runs off, he does 2 home invasions. They have to call the SWAT team and everything, and he ends up, they end up punching his ticket, but good. But we have over almost 9,000, what is it? We have several thousand comments on that short, and there's so many of them anti-cop, and I don't get it. Police officer was walking up, doing his job, and this scumbag shoots at this officer. Yeah. And we get comments, hey, road pirates, don't conduct traffic stops.
Yeah, you shouldn't do traffic stops anymore. Why are cops stopping people anyway? They should do away with that. Are you kidding me? Do you know the number of traffic homicides we have in this country every year where people driving like assholes out here and people running through your neighborhoods with your children out there playing in your front yard and they lose control and they run over your kids? Quit doing traffic stops. I was so pissed when I read some of these.
I'm glad you mentioned about pedestrian being killed in traffic. I think there was just a new report that came out that like 4 or 5 out of the top 10 pedestrians getting killed by traffic was in Florida.
That doesn't surprise me a bit.
And I think Volusia County was number 1.
We are unfortunately a transit society in the United States.
Yep.
And yes, in your larger cities, you're riding trains and subways and so on. We don't have those in Florida. Yeah. Well, Miami has one, but I mean, we don't have those in Central Florida. And most of your cities throughout the nation don't have subways or trains that you can ride. Everybody drives a damn car.
So you mean people who have warrants, people who are smuggling dope, pounds and pounds of fentanyl, human trafficking, murderers, sexual offenders, they drive cars?
Yeah, so Ted Bundy, okay? Ted Bundy was caught because he had an equipment violation on his VW Bug. This guy murdered so many freaking co-eds. What was the number? I forget now.
It was 2 in Florida, but it was like 30 something throughout the nation.
Right,
it was
30
crazy
throughout the nation. They didn't know who he was. They couldn't find him. They were
he escaped
doing
twice
everything.
from
escaped
jail.
Twice. And a lowly old cop
doing his
job pulls him over for a traffic violation.
No! Stop harassing people.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So I guess we should have not pulled him over. Therefore, he could have went on to murder, I don't know, 30 or 40 more people.
Yeah, so cops need to stop enforcing the law. Not only did Ted Bundy get caught through a traffic violation and a cop doing his job, David Berkowitz, another serial killer, stopped because an officer gave him a parking ticket.
You're right.
But don't do that because that's harassment.
That's total harassment, and we are violating people's rights by pulling them over.
And just as I was sitting here, you remember the bombing in Atlanta? It was Eric Rudolph. He in the 80s at the Olympics in Atlanta.
Yes.
So he was blowing up abortion clinic.
One man versus the power of the United States government. Multiple bombings in 2 states. 3 dead and more than 100 hurt.
And he set a bomb off at the Atlantic, and he ran off into the woods of North and South Carolina.
Right.
Massive hunt.
Yep.
One of the largest manhunts in American history. You know how he was caught? A cop doing his job, driving behind a strip mall, and he was going through a dumpster looking for food, and the cop checks out with him. But I guess we're not supposed to do that.
No, but he violated his rights.
He violated his rights by checking out
by
with a
just
suspicious
saying, hey,
person.
man, what are you doing? Why are you in a
Right.
dumpster
Yeah.
at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.? You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
And listen, we know the vast majority of the Americans and of more than vast
Absolutely.
majority of the people that watch this show are okay with the police doing their job. But man, I got to tell you, there are a bunch of people out here that absolutely wish cops had zero power unless they were called to the scene of something. Well, you either want them or you don't want them.
Well, and those people who don't want cops and are glad that cops are killed, who's the first people they're going to call when somebody's kicking their front door in?
Yeah. Or beating the shit out of them or got a gun in their face or something else.
We should have a list. Oh, I'm sorry. You hate cops. Call a fireman.
Yeah, put it on a national registry.
Right, there you go.
So when you call 911, your name pops up and it says, nope, he hates cops, doesn't want anything to do with cops. Do not send the police.
Right.
I mean,
problem
and those are
solved.
the same ones that hate guns, so they wouldn't have a gun in their house to protect themselves.
No, of course not.
Unbelievable,
hey, before
man.
we get too spun up.
Yeah, let me do the beer moment because I
was
got
gonna
to
say.
freaking chill out a second because I am freaking wired. All right. Camille went and got us a beer. Thanks to our sponsors. Camille went and picked it up. It is Duke's Cold Nose Brown Ale out of Jacksonville, Florida. It is a dark beer.
Yeah, it's a brown ale.
As you
I love
can
it.
see, I really like it a lot.
It's enjoyable.
It's like kind of like a lighter porter. You know, it's not completely super dark.
I give that an 8.5.
Yeah,
right
I'm
there,
going to give
easy.
that a solid 8.25.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot. And hey, we really appreciate our sponsors very much for allowing us to do the show and have the beer moment and all. So thank you, sponsors. And here's a word from them.
Contact Mainstreet Realty for all your real estate needs. This power team includes Tom Clem, a veteran Marine and retired law enforcement professional.
All right.
All right. So, also, I don't want to discourage people from commenting.
No.
Comment. We love it. I mean, we can't get to all of them because recently our channel's exploded, and I try to, when I have some downtime, I'll thumbs up,
I
or
do
I'll
too.
make some
Yep,
comments.
I do too.
So we want to continue to have you commenting because the vast majority of them are great comments.
They are.
Yeah.
And even if they're not, oh, we love the police, they're saying, wow, I didn't realize, this kind of thing was happening, or, oh my God, I hope they're okay, or holy cow, that was crazy, the pit maneuver, or whatever it is. We have a short out there that's 2.5 or 2.6 million views, and another one, that shooting that he talked about earlier, that's at like 1.4 or whatever million.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people are seeing our channel. We do appreciate all of you doing it, but we just wanted to drive home the fact, that people or police officers do traffic stops for a reason.
Yeah. The basic reason is traffic enforcement.
Absolutely.
How many cars have you stopped that had baloney skin tires? Okay. Dangerous. Dangerous
And here's the
vehicles.
deal in Florida. We don't have state inspections. So you're not taking your car through an inspection station and getting the tires, lights, and all that checked, wipers, everything. We don't have that. So our inspection officers are the police officers that are driving around in the police car looking at these violations and pulling people over. Usually it's a warning. Sometimes it's a citation, especially if you've been stopped 2 or 3 times for it. But it leads to other things.
Yeah.
Here's a prime example. I'm out on the interstate one night, 2 a.m, bored out of my mind, got the radar going. Here comes a chick, a lady, a girl, whatever,
A female type person.
at 87 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone. I'm like, okay, that's a little fast, even for like 2 a.m. Do a traffic stop. Pull over. She's nervous as hell. Okay. Young lady getting stopped middle of the night. Okay, I get it. No problem. But I mean, I'm talking shaking, freaking sweating. She is shitting herself. So I say, where are you headed? She gives me some line. Where are you coming from? Gives me some line. And I'm like, So I see in her lap, she's got this little note, and it's got all these locations written on this note. And I'm like, what's that? Are you lost? Are you not from around here? I'm looking at her license, and her license was from a couple of counties over. And I'm like, are you looking for a specific place? No. I said, well, what are all those locations written down on your thing there? And she goes, well, that was from a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, well, why is it in your lap? Anyway,
it's a couple weeks ago.
Long story short, I ended up getting 2 ounces of crack cocaine out of this car.
Those are deliveries.
She was the mule making the deliveries to all of these hotels.
Okay.
And I recognized 2 of the addresses locally as hotels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's either a prostitute, and Johns are calling her, and she's making a call, or
Which is also illegal.
absolutely, or she's delivering drug. 2 ounces of crack cocaine underneath the front seat.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, traffic stop. Don't do traffic stops. Nobody's breaking the law. Bullshit on traffic stops.
Yeah, don't be road pirates. I read
Me
that.
and my wife are going to Disney one night. It's like 7 o'clock. We're going to Disney. Yes, we're going late. Season pass holders, so we can go whenever we want. Park stays open until 11. We're going down there. And all of a sudden, I see this guy in front of me. They're all over the road. I'm off duty. All over the road. Back and forth, all over the road. Ran 2 people clear off the road, damn near into a ditch. And this is on a major highway, 3-4 lane highway. So I call 911. Hey, I'm behind a guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm an off-duty police officer. I'm behind a guy. This guy, they finally caught up to us and pulled him over. This guy was so freaking drunk that he could not stand up when he got out of the car.
Yeah, you probably saved some lives.
I guarantee you I saved some lives. But, hey, if we can't do traffic stops,
Don't do traffic stops.
they wouldn't have called, came and stopped this guy, and he probably would have killed 2 or 3 people.
10-3, he's got a gun. 10-3.
10-3 on 538 at Fort Block, Blair, North Wellington.
Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put them up! Put them up! Put them up! Put them up!
But don't do traffic stops.
No. So there's a guy by the name of Randy Kraft. He's another serial killer stopped on a traffic stop. He's called the scorecard killer. Pulled over for erratic driving.
I remember him.
So traffic stop. 1995, Timothy McVeigh, the bomber of the our Murrow building.
Yep.
Killed 175 people, including women and children.
And
federal.
And babies.
Yeah.
And
babies.
babies.
They had a daycare in that building.
In the federal building.
In the federal building.
Yep.
And he didn't have a tag on his car. They stopped him.
Yep.
Lo and behold, it was him. Michael Jones out of Florida pled guilty to brutally murdering his wife and 4 children. He was driving around with bodies in the vehicle, and he was stopped.
For a traffic violation.
For a traffic violation. And now, these are the extremes, but how many times are cops pulling massive amounts of dope off the street?
They told our chief one time, they said, hey, just to let you know, chief, we have some really, really, really bad people coming down the interstate right through your city. And just to let you know, when we interviewed some of these really bad people that were wanted for like major life felonies, armed robbery, bank robbery, all this shit, they said they got stopped by your officers on the interstate. And the only reason that they did not shoot them or kill them or run is because the cop took care of business and they didn't think they could get away with it because they used good police
Tactics.
work.
Yeah.
Thank God, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know.
And you looking back, how many times?
Oh, my God. And then cold chills just runs down your spine when he tells you that. And this was a federal agent that was investigating bank robberies.
Yeah.
Told him that. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
All right, guys. So we're going to wrap this up. As I said, if you guys want us to discuss anything, a cold case, something going on with law enforcement, arrests of police officers, abuse, whatever, if you want to suggest a brewski, if you want to sponsor the show with some beer, let us know. You can email us at retiredcopsrule@gmail.com, or you can send a message down in the comments down below.
Don't forget that thumbs up and like and subscribe.
Any last thoughts, LT?
No, I'm good. I've calmed down a little bit. I tell you, I read some comments a little earlier that, man, I was fuming. My wife looks at me and she goes, "What's the matter with you?" And I'm like, I almost just quit reading, but anyway, I'm glad we talked about it. I'm sure the vast majority of folks out here side with us and say, please continue to do what you're doing.
All right, guys. And always remember, at Surviving the Badge,
we still got your 6. Stay safe out there.